In the icy silence of a Petrograd night, a shadowy figure slips through the frozen streets, their breath fogging in the chill air. The city, usually bustling with life, lies dormant beneath a blanket of snow. As midnight approaches, an ominous sense of foreboding hangs heavy over this vast metropolis. Unbeknownst to its residents, fate has chosen tonight as the night for a terrible revelation. A wealthy merchant, Alexander Ivanov, resides within one of the grand edifices that line Petrograd's opulent landscape. His home, filled with the trappings of wealth and success, stands in stark contrast to the city's suffering masses. Inside this palatial residence, a family sleeps peacefully. Alexander's wife, Yelena, her features soft and serene in slumber, rests beside her husband. Their two young daughters, Natalia and Dasha, nestling nearby, dreams dancing in their innocent eyes. A sense of tranquility permeates the air, but it is a tranquility that will soon be shattered. As the clock strikes 12, the shadows come alive. The figure from earlier moves with deadly precision, scaling the building's icy facade like a ghost in the night. The stillness of the house belies the fury about to be unleashed within its walls. From above, the assassin enters through a window, his cold gaze fixing upon the sleeping family below. He moves silently, swiftly, a lethal force wielded in the darkness. The first victim is Alexander Ivanov, a life cruelly snuffed out as he sleeps. The sound of his wife's scream pierces the night, echoing through the desolate streets like a mournful cry. The assassin slips away into the shadows, leaving behind a chilling reminder of his presence, a single drop of blood on the frozen window pane. As dawn breaks over Petrograd, the city wakes to find that an innocent life has been taken and an unspeakable horror has entered its midst. The audience is left to ponder the mystery unfolding before them. Who could have committed such a heinous act? And how will this senseless loss of life impact not only the Ivanov family, but also the city they call home? The answer lies hidden in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered by one determined woman, Natasha. But for now, darkness still reigns over Petrograd's blood-stained streets. In the dimly lit chamber of Petrograd's Chaika headquarters, a woman cloaked in shadows stirred. Her eyes, pools of steely resolve, mirrored the city's icy streets outside. The heavy whispers of paper shuffling beneath her fingers punctuated the silence as she pored over stacks of case files. The death of Alexander Ivanov had been assigned to her, lead investigator, Natasha. A sense of unspoken weight hung heavy in the air, a spectral reminder of countless nights spent wrestling with the city's darkness. Her mind wandered to the faces of Yelena and her daughters, Natalia and Dasha, their lives now forever altered by this senseless act of violence. The thought ignited an ember within her, a fiery resolve that had been smoldering since she joined the Chaika ranks, the pursuit of justice. As she delved deeper into the case, the labyrinthine web of Petrograd's criminal underworld began to unravel before her eyes. The threads led to Lëńka Panteleev and the transport department of the Chaika, but questions gnawed at the edges of her mind. What connection did they have to Ivanov's murder? And why had crucial evidence vanished into thin air? Her mentor, Viktor Petrov, a guiding light in her career, now seemed enshrouded by an uncertain darkness. His actions, once crystal clear, had become questionable. The lines between right and wrong blurred, casting a long shadow over the investigation. Natasha could not help but wonder if corruption seeped into every crevice of Petrograd society, including its very heart, the Chaika itself. But Natasha would not be deterred. With each passing day, her resolve only hardened, fueled by the memory of Alexander Ivanov and the suffering of his family. The city's mayor, Sergei Kuznetsov, held the keys to unlocking this mystery, or so she believed. But how far was too far in pursuit of justice? Could she risk exposing her own corruption to bring light to Petrograd's darkest corners? The stakes were high, but Natasha pressed onward. The city watched with bated breath, as the line between truth and deception grew thinner by the day. In this world of shadows, it remained uncertain whether the truth would bring real change or fuel more corruption. But Natasha's unwavering determination held steady, like a beacon in the night. As darkness blanketed the icy expanse of Petrograd, a figure emerged from the shadows, Lëńka Panteleev. Once an unassuming clerk in the city's transportation department, his metamorphosis into a powerful figure was as swift and enigmatic as the city itself. The chilling wind carried tales of his rise through Petrograd society, a tale that seemed almost mythical in its scope. From the depths of obscurity, Lëńka had ascended the ranks of power, his every move cloaked in mystery. Yet beneath this shroud of enigma lay questionable actions and a web of connections that left many wondering who truly pulled the strings in Petrograd's murky underbelly. A former associate, now consumed by guilt and fear, recounted how Lëńka had manipulated the city's transport network to his advantage, bribes, extortion, and coercion becoming as familiar as the sound of the city's tramcars. It was said that he moved through Petrograd like a phantom, leaving in his wake fear and suspicion. In the heart of this twisted tapestry, Natasha delved deeper into the investigation. As she uncovered the threads linking Lëńka to members of the transport department, she began to piece together a chilling picture of a man whose influence extended far beyond the city's streets. But as Natasha pursued the elusive truth, crucial evidence seemed to vanish without trace, disappearing like so many fragments of Petrograd's past. The weight of this mystery bore down on her shoulders, threatening to crush her resolve. Was she chasing shadows or uncovering a conspiracy that would shake the city to its core? As Lëńka continued his ascent through the ranks of power, whispers of his involvement in the Ivanov case grew louder. Yet, he remained an enigma, always one step ahead, always one step beyond the reach of justice. The city seemed to shiver in anticipation, poised on the edge of revelation, or perhaps just the next twist in this dance of darkness. In the cold, unforgiving embrace of Petrograd's night, Natasha stood resolute, determined to expose the secrets hidden beneath the city's frozen surface. The tension hung thick and heavy, as though the city itself held its breath, waiting for the moment when the truth would finally be revealed or swallowed by the darkness once more. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a somber pallor over Petrograd's frost-kissed streets, investigator Natasha found herself ensnared in the labyrinth of her own doubts. The city's icy embrace seemed to mirror the growing unease that gnawed at her core. In the dimly lit confines of her modest apartment, the flickering candlelight cast elongated shadows upon the walls. The spectral dance of these silhouettes seemed to embody Natasha's own internal turmoil, a testament to the insidious web of deceit that threatened to ensnare her at every turn. The disappearance of key witnesses and the manipulation of evidence had gnawed away at the foundations of her investigation, leaving behind a crumbling edifice of trust. Her mentor, Viktor Petrov, once an unwavering beacon of guidance and support, now stood on the precipice of suspicion. The thought was as jarring as a shattering pane of glass in the stillness of the night. Natasha's fingers trembled as she sifted through stacks of evidence, her mind racing with questions that refused to be silenced. Was it possible that those she trusted most were part of the problem? Or was this merely the product of a fragile mind pushed beyond its limits by the weight of unanswered questions and the relentless pursuit of truth? The emotional toll of these revelations weighed heavily upon her, threatening to crush the fragile facade she had painstakingly constructed. Yet Natasha's resolve remained steadfast, a flicker of determination that dared defy the encroaching darkness. In this world of shadows, she could not afford to falter. The camera lingers on Natasha's determined face, the candlelight casting an ethereal glow upon her steely gaze. The tension in her every line betrays the turmoil that simmers beneath the surface, a testament to the relentless struggle between duty and doubt that defines her pursuit of justice. As the night wore on, Natasha's thoughts turned to Yelena Ivanov, widow of the merchant whose life had been cruelly extinguished. In her grief, Yelena had become a symbol of hope for Natasha, a reminder of the innocent lives lost and the justice yet to be served. The thought fueled her resolve, even as the shadows around her threatened to consume all that she held dear. In this moment, as the icy winds howled through the streets outside, Natasha knew that she could not afford to falter. For in a world where the line between right and wrong blurred into oblivion, it was the pursuit of justice that would determine who would be left standing when the dust settled upon Petrograd's bloodstained streets. As the relentless winter grips Petrograd, Investigator Natasha finds herself standing before its most powerful figure, Mayor Sergei Kuznetsov. His imposing presence looms over her, casting a long and ominous shadow. The city's intricate web of corruption is woven around them like a suffocating shroud, the air heavy with tension. Natasha's resolve hardens, her heart pounding in her chest as she presents her findings, meticulously gathered from the darkest corners of the city. With each revelation, the mayor's mask slips further, revealing the true extent of his influence and corruption. The room seems to close in on them, the atmosphere thickening with every word spoken. In this moment, Natasha realizes that her pursuit of justice may cost her dearly, not just in terms of the lives lost, but also her own. Fear grips her, yet she presses on, driven by an unwavering desire to bring light to Petrograd's darkest corners. However, as Natasha leaves the mayor's chambers, the cold winter wind whispers ominous threats into her ears. The shadows grow darker, and her once trusted allies seem to vanish without a trace. It becomes clear that those she sought to hold accountable have the power to destroy her life just as easily as they had ended Alexander Ivanov's. The weight of these realizations settles heavily on Natasha's shoulders, her determination unyielding despite the insurmountable odds stacked against her. This confrontation serves as a turning point in the story, setting the stage for Natasha's final confrontation with Lëńka Panteleev. In this bleak landscape, Natasha finds herself alone and outnumbered, yet she refuses to back down. The battle for justice may come at great personal cost, but as she looks out upon Petrograd's blood-stained streets, Natasha knows that she must press onward. The city's soul hangs in the balance, its darkness threatening to consume all who dwell within it. In the icy heart of Petrograd, an autumnal twilight descends. As dusk seeps into darkness, investigator Natasha finds herself standing before a shadowy figure, her adversary Lëńka Panteleev, ensconced within his gilded den. The city's once grand edifices seem to bear the weight of the impending confrontation, their silhouettes etched against the bruised sky. Natasha's heart pounds in her chest, a cacophony of anxiety and determination echoing through the gloom. Her resolve hardens as she grapples with the knowledge that this moment will define not only her investigation, but also her very existence. With each step closer to Lëńka, she feels the icy tendrils of fear creeping into her veins, yet she presses onward, driven by an unrelenting thirst for truth and justice. Within Lëńka's lair, a palpable tension hangs heavy in the air, thicker than the smoke that curls from his cigar. His eyes gleam with malevolence, betraying the facade of charm he so effortlessly wears. The scent of decay fills the room, a testament to the corruption that lies at the heart of Petrograd's power structure. As Natasha probes deeper into the depths of Lëńka's criminal empire, the truth begins to unravel like a spider's web, ensnaring some of the city's most influential figures. The revelations shake her to her core, forcing her to confront the extent of Petrograd's moral decay. Yet even amidst this turmoil, she remains steadfast in her pursuit of justice. The confrontation between Natasha and Lëńka escalates, each questioning the other's integrity and loyalty. It becomes increasingly apparent that both are locked in a battle for power, one driven by a desire to uphold justice, while the other clings desperately to his corrupt reign. The stakes could not be higher, as they stand on the precipice of change, poised to either shatter the shadows that plague Petrograd or reinforce them with blood and betrayal. In this climactic moment, Natasha faces a choice between upholding justice and preserving her own life. The consequences of her decision are immeasurable, as she teeters on the edge of darkness and light. In a city where corruption casts long shadows over the streets, one must ask oneself, how far is too far in pursuit of justice? The narrative unfolds like a symphony, each note echoing with the emotional weight of Natasha's internal turmoil. The tension crescendos as she makes her decision, the consequences reverberating through Petrograd like thunderclaps. The resolution lies in the balance between shadows and light, as the city is forever changed by this battle for truth and justice. The camera lingers on Natasha's resolute figure, her steely gaze reflecting the struggle that defines her character. Her decision has shattered the silence that cloaked Petrograd, forcing its inhabitants to confront the darkness within their city. As she emerges from Leonid's lair, bathed in the glow of a new day, one cannot help but wonder, who will emerge victorious in this battle for justice? And what price must be paid when shadows are forced to give way to light?